Okay everybody, so Dr. Rick here, Dr. Rick's Garage. We're actually going to repair a vevazz today. Another one, before we took one apart to help somebody. A couple people requested it, and this time we actually had another one. So I don't know if you can zoom in on this right here, but if you can see how this is swollen right there and broken, you can see that that's the sign that gives you. You get the swollen cable right there, that the wire has been broken from going twisted too much. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the soldering gun, razor knife, couple screwdrivers, solder, flux, and strippers here to do it, and some cable ties. So hopefully it goes fairly easy. First thing you want to do is we got to pop these sides open real gently. So we just want to take and just barely work it underneath. Okay, and you can see we popped it out here. And then so I'm going to go to this side, do the same thing. Work its way underneath it. There we go. So once we get both those sides out, should be able to just pull it up. Okay, you can see, so it makes a lot of cracking. Just go gentle so it don't pop off. If you need to clean it, now's a good time. You'll see a little bit of sweat marks in here, or marks from where the lights are. They don't really come off much. I'm going to go ahead and have my help here go ahead and wash that for us. Now we're going to pop this off and pull the cover off. LEDs, and you can see here they have a cable tie. And what that cable tie does is it stops it from being pulled backwards. And so what we want to do is gently work this in, kind of like this. Okay, so pull in enough in here that you can get to it. Sometimes I've had that breakage too big to actually do anything about it. I shouldn't say too anything about it, but to slide easily. So yeah, I put a little lubricant. The next step is we need to unsweat these from here. So what I typically find the easiest way to do it is the solder. And you can see here on this particular model, we've got the black and then the white. So that's how we're going to sit there and do it. So just do the exact same. We'll heat the soldering gun, see if we can get this to drop out, let it get warm up for a second. I usually put a little bit of flux on here just to keep it clean. You might use a little tool to help pull it out once the solder gets hot. Okay, so that's all we did right here is just pull that out, let it cool down for a second. Gonna do the same with this side now. Let the heat transfer into it a few seconds. There we go. So we got this out. Make sure when you set the soldering gun down, you're not going to set the tip on anything that's going to be in the issue here. Usually I use my little heavier duty tip. Comes to more of a point. That actually broke a little while back. And so basically you can actually cut this right here, because what's going to happen, and pay attention, you have about 2 inches in here. What's going to happen is, and I'll show you actually so it's a little easier. Cut the cable tie off. And we'll just strip this down. So this OSO cable isn't too bad to work with. It's exterior waterproof. You can see here's the ground. They don't do nothing with it except just cut it off. This one, you can tell by the marks, it hasn't been repaired before either. So here's where it was swollen, and you can see that that's pretty. So if I just pull it apart, see how the wire's missing? So same with this one. So the big thing here is to just take your strippers, same thing. So just twist your wires. Doesn't matter which way, but I think I may have been going the wrong way. If we can work it into the hole there. If not, we'll just get it a little tighter and try to work it through. So like you can see, the black one fits in there really easy. White one not so much. Thank you, Ethan. One way to fix that is actually just heat this back up. So you can see that the solder is getting pretty loose. We just shove it in there. Well, it's still a little bit tough, so I'm going to take and heat it and poke this out, clean this out a little bit. Once I see the solder become loose and shiny, there we go, I think that's big enough. You can actually see on this one here, my razor knife cut that. You'd be fine if you actually didn't, as long as it's pointing the other way, but you know, we can put a little heat shrink on here, and that's what we'll probably do. So we'll pull this out and see if we can get some heat shrink, just to make sure that we're not going to short nothing out. Okay, so as you can see, that gives a pretty good cover right there. Pop that one in. Pop that one in. And they don't have to go at the same time. Like, that one's giving us a little bit of trouble. So we'll just solder the white one first. And it don't matter which side you solder it on. You know, the biggest thing is get a little flux on here. Let it get nice and warm. There you go. So you can see that that side has a nice good coat on it. And like, so this one here, same thing, you know, we can solder on either side here. Just make sure you're not really putting it on that track. It has the clear, protective coating on it, but you just want to make sure. You can see that one's soldered. Again, make sure your tip don't touch nothing. Here we're good, here we're good. Now the big thing is we got this heat shrink we want to put back on here to protect it. So let me see if we can get our little air dryer here. Get this little mini air dryer. That we can get you a link if you need it. Unplug the soldering gun. This is really only in case you did what I did. So it'll get hot and shrink that down. If you want to make it a little hotter, cover part of the vent. That's all it took for that. So now we need a cable tie to stop this from getting pulled through. You know, lots of times this will stay on top of here, but today, and when this pulls through, we want the cable tie kind of coming on top here. And we just line up the LEDs. Okay. And pop this in gently. Okay, it's seated everywhere. Okay. And that cable tie should stop it from coming through. You can see there's no more swelling on the side of the holes, the cable. Anyway, so that's it in a nutshell. Usually don't take this long. Of course, we're making a video, and we're just trying to make sure we get all the information out there. So if you have any questions, please like, share, let us know if you have other questions. And if you're not interested in your old paddles, let us know. We might take them off your hands. Thank you. Take care.